In Chapter 1.3, we are going to discuss the growth curve. What is life cycle? Life cycle is the amount of time a plant grows from a seed to bearing its own seeds. There are three types of plants, based on their life cycles, which are annual, biennial, and perennial plants. The first type of plant's life cycle is annual plants. Annual plants are plant that lives for 1 year with 1 seasons of growth to complete their life cycle. These plants usually start from germinate to produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, then the plant dies. Examples of annual plants are paddy, pumpkin, and watermelon plants. The second type of plant's life cycle is biennial plants. Biennial plants refer to plants which take 2 years with 2 seasons of growth to complete their life cycle. The first growth season is the vegetative growth, which the plant grows in the leaves, stems, and root structure. The second growth season is the reproduction, which the plant produces fruits, flowers, and seeds, then the plant dies. Examples of biennial plants are cabbage, carrot, and onion. The third type of plant life cycle is perennial plants. Perennial plants are plant that lives for more than 2 years with more than 2 seasons of growth to complete their life cycle. These plants take 1 year to many years later before flowering. There are 2 types of perennial plants, which are woody perennial plants and herbaceous perennial plants. First is woody perennial plants. Woody perennials are plants with stems that do not die and instead grow larger with each passing season. Second is herbaceous perennial plants. Herbaceous perennial are plants which dies yearly, but their roots survive to keep growing. Examples of perennial plants are lemon tree, strawberry tree, and mango tree. These are the growth curve in annual, biennial, and perennial plants. Firstly, we will look into the growth curve in annual plants. The growth curve in annual plants is a S-shaped, called the sigmoid curve. In stage A is germination of seed. The foods are stored in cotyledon or seed for germination. This caused the dry mass to decrease. The growth rate is slow in this stage. In stage B is photosynthesis. The leaves are formed, and the plant starts to carry out photosynthesis. This caused the dry mass to increase. The growth rate is rapid in this stage. In stage C is maturity. The plant reaches its maturity, and the growth stops completely. This caused the dry mass to be constant. The growth rate is 0 in this stage. In stage D is the plant growth slow down because of aging, leaves and flowers shedding, and seed dispersing. This caused the dry mass to decrease. The growth rate is negative in this stage. Second, let's look into the growth curve in biennial plants. The growth curve in biennial plants has 2 sigmoid curves, which are combined. Each growth seasons is a sigmoid growth curve. There are first growth season and second growth season. In first growth season, the plant produced leaves, photosynthesis takes place, and food is stored in underground. In second growth season, the food stored is used to produce flowers and seeds. Lastly, let's look into the growth curve in perennial plants. The growth curve in perennial plants is a series of small sigmoid curves. Every year, the plant growth increase in mass and size throughout their lifespan. During spring and summer, the growth rate is rapid due to high sunlight exposure for photosynthesis. During the winter, the growth rate slows down and stops due to low sunlight exposure for photosynthesis. This is the end of Chapter 1.3, Growth Curve.